Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Ofosu Asamoah. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
I trust you're well.
Yeah, very well.
So, was the Commission unable to intervene in this matter to a point that we now have a pending strike to deal with?
It's a very complex issue we have on our hand now, because this strike does not look like a strike where you have employees pressing home a demand in the collective bargaining for their welfare. This is more of a strike in the political circle than one of employer-employee or worker relations or an industrial dispute. It's a complex one. So, we just got note of it this evening, and the commission will be sitting tomorrow and we'll look at the way forward. Fortunately, the strike is intended to begin on the 10th, so we have time to look at it.
Very well, but the Organised Labour, had previously set a September 10 deadline. From September end of month deadline to take action regarding this matter if government fails to address their concerns.
Yes, they said if the government does not address their concern, they were going to engage in a series of industrial actions, and government at a point in time set a committee of some ministers to look at it and all that, and we are not privy to the report. We are not privy to those things. So perhaps it at this time that it has escalated, that perhaps it will come in, because none of the parties called on the Labour Committee, they gave their threat to the government. The government also decided to react to it by forming a committee to look at what their petition was. The government could have written to us that the Labour Commission, this would have threatened strike, so A, B, C, and D. They could have also written, but none of the parties have written to us. But that will not take away our power to intervene. But like I'm saying, this is not an issue between an employer and an employee in respect of a collective bargaining agreement, enforcement of its terms, or an employer-employee relation, or any form of their contract. So this is the strike is an industrial action. The purpose for which they are striking is a bit complex for us. But like I said, the commissioners will meet tomorrow, Wednesday, and then we will look at the way to go. So I'll put it before them tomorrow.
Mr. Asamoah, you mentioned that neither government nor Organised Labour wrote to you concerning this matter. Do we take it that you were at no point engaged in the negotiations on this particular subject?
No, not on this matter. We have not been engaged in this matter at all.
What would usually happen regarding a situation like this? Would the commission have cause to intervene, although you had not been written to, in order to avoid this particular situation that we have?
Well, because of the declaration of the strike, the commission will have the power to intervene, because the law in this country is that if any employee will want to engage in a strike, you must notify the commission. We haven't received any such notification. But we haven't received any such notification. We are just getting it from the various press conferences and the social media, and perhaps from your electronic media as well, like we are doing now. But you know that, like I'm saying, this is a bit complex. So the commissioners will come and look at it tomorrow. They'll sit.
Very well, but how worried is the commission about this? If Organised Labour should indeed carry out...
It's very worrying. If you listen to the way I speak, you see that I'm worried, because how can we have the whole of the labor force in Ghana going on strike? That would be a very massive loss to the government and the people of Ghana. And our present economic situation is not the best. And if we are going to lose that, all that money, then I don't think it's good for us. So I'm sure the government will take immediate steps to address their concerns. They will also be ready to sit with government and find a midway to solving it, because they have raised the issue of the environment, and that affects everybody, including me, including everybody from the president to the least in the country. So it's a matter of concern to all of us. So I'm sure that perhaps, you see, the government may not want to do as they want if they have an alternative way of solving the problem. But the best is that is for the two of them to sit and talk. The unions, the labor force, and the government. Because at the end of the day, it's a win-win for all of us, or a lose-lose for all of us. Whether you are the government or you are the labor, we all drink polluted water. We risk dying. And water is one of the essentials of life. So I'm sure that the government will do something about it. I hope, and I believe that they really have to do something, meet them, and then find a middle way. If it is not to accept all that they have said in the way they want it, there must be a middle line.
Now, I understand that you have underscored the complexity of the situation, and of course, this is more of a direct issue between the government and organized labor. You are only in the picture because the law mandates that you are notified of a strike by any worker or group of workers. But in this instance, what role would you or can you play to help bring some respite to the situation?
Yes, as a commission, we mediate and arbitrate in disputes. We help parties. So, you see, initially they will have to meet and negotiate a settlement. And it is where the parties are unable to negotiate a settlement, then we come in to mediate between them, or appoint mediators for them, appoint arbitrators for them. I mean, they nominate and then we appoint them to settle the dispute. Or at worst, compulsorily we bring them to the table to have the problem solved. That is it. So,
very well. Mr. Asamoah, sorry, please go ahead.
At the moment, like I'm saying, that yes, they have given the red alert that between now and the 10th, if nothing is done, they go to declare a strike. So I think that within that period, we urge the government to engage them. And that if they are unable to engage them for a negotiated settlement, and that is where we may come in. But like I said, this is not one of those employer-employee relations that the commission settles. This is a pure political issue. So I think the government will have to find a way of solving it.
Very well, thank you so much. But before I let you go, let's touch on one of such employer-employee relations, which has to do with a number of tertiary education worker unions who are on strike, and has affected the reopening dates of a number of tertiary institutions across the country. Where do we stand now as a commission? And of course, how far has negotiations traveled to see to the reopening or the return of these workers to campus, and of course for academic activities to begin?
I think that issue will be very soon. I'm sure you will hear the news. There was supposed to be a meeting this morning, but the minister had to go and perform a very important national function. So the meeting was rescheduled for this afternoon. And I believe that as I'm talking to you now, they are in the meeting the minister, because the issue came before us. And most of them are not new. There are things that have come before us, and that there has been either a directive on it, or the parties themselves have negotiated and signed a memorandum of understanding already. So it's all a question. Most of them are a question of implementation or misrepresentation of facts in some way. So we have given them, when they brought it, their petition, we looked at it, and we wrote to the ministry concerned as well as their employers that yes, this is what they have got. There are some that have been directly or really on it already. So have you implemented it? If not, why are you not? And this is the red alert they have given that if you don't do it, this is what will happen. So please engage them and let's get the results. So we give them time. Like I said, the commission will resume sitting tomorrow. We went on a 1-month recess. So that's why most of these things perhaps occurred within the period. But we ask the minister to engage them, and that is what he is doing now as I'm talking to you. So if they are unable to settle, then the commission will come in. Where we have given a directive and it has not been complied with, we will go to court and enforce it, like we have been doing in earlier times. Where there is no daily directive or rules, and that the parties are free to negotiate, then the commission will arbitrate on it. That is what is going to happen.
Very well, sir. Thank you so much for your time. We're grateful.
Thank you.
Mr. Ofosu Asamoah is the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission.